Welcome to the Motor Mouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and halfway through we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We spun it off. We're at number one, is it 12 or number
13?
Number one. I knew it. It was number 113. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Hi guys, been watching for years since I was living in Lebanon and continue now from Toronto. Would you consider reviewing cars not offered in the Canadian market? I know many would enjoy your perspectives on Peugeot, Skodas, and other brands that serve more international buyers.
We'd love to do that. Why don't you sponsor us to go to Europe for a month? And we'll get all these cars.
Zach and I were thinking, we'll go to Australia and we're going to make it into like a vacation and we'll review cars for a couple of weeks.
For the tax purposes, Andrea, it's 100% work.
100%
we would go
work.
to Australia and we would do nothing but review cars and work. There wouldn't be any drinking at night or eating great meals or walking hand in hand on the beach. G'day, mate. Or chasing kangaroos.
Never.
Nothing like that.
It's just all work.
All work.
Anyway, we have talked about it, but no, we haven't done it yet. And, it's hard because we already travel so much for these drive events in North America, but it's a good idea. And maybe one day,
Things have changed. We had an elderly dog and he passed away in December. And we were really tethered to getting home because we had to have somebody special to come in and look after him, and then our boys had to look after him. So now that we don't have a dog anymore to come back to, we can actually stay. For example, last year we went to Austria with Mercedes, and we really wanted to stay longer, but we had to get back because of the dog. So those sorts of things, we can do that from now on.
Yeah, he was a big commitment and a lot of responsibility, and we were happy to do it, but we really had that urge to get back home. To see him and make sure that he was okay. Hi both. Questions on how much longer you think Porsche can milk the aging Macan ICE platform. Think they'll reconsider a new ICE version? I have a 2023 S, but will not consider the new EV version. Thanks. Well, Porsche did speak to Reuters and said that the last year of production for the Macan gas model will be 2026. And the Boxster and the Cayman looks like they're wrapping it up in 2025. Both replaced by EVs, all replaced by EVs.
All subject to change, Andrea. If the winds of change continue to blow, not in the favor of EVs like we've seen in the last little while, Volkswagen Group just announced that they're putting the brakes on their battery production expansion plans for Europe and for the major one that they're doing in St. Thomas, Ontario. It's all subject to change. So
I know.
They can say that, but if the market isn't there and they don't feel it's going to change much, they could just keep making them.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. This is what they're saying for now. Boy, that Macan EV is expensive. And the thing about the Macan is that it is one of their best sellers. People get into the brand from other brands because they can afford, more affordable option is the Macan. I just have a hard time getting over the fact that that's going to be gone for the brand.
Yeah, that's their entry-level product. That's how you get in. That's the gateway drug.
Yeah.
So getting rid of Macan, for all those people that can get a 4-cylinder turbo Macan, it's going to be, they're going to miss the volume.
They're going to miss the volume. Hello from California. Love your show. CPO 2023 330i or Audi A5 Sportback for daily commute. Looking for a reliable vehicle that absorbs the road imperfections, easy to maintain and fun to drive. We have an ID4 and love it. I like the ID4.
Okay,
it's not
so we're
weird
talking
looking.
about a BMW 330i or an Audi A5.
A5 Sportback.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. BMW.
A5. The reason why I say A5 is because I really believe that vehicle is tuned for softness, imperfections in the road. 330 is definitely more fun to drive, but I chose the A5 Sportback only because You mentioned comfortable
Yeah,
imperfections
but-
in the road.
But BMW has softened their cars over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Like their cars used to be, much more, well, they're still sporty, but now with all the technology changes and bushings and things and suspension with adjustable suspensions, you can have your cake and eat it too. So you can make it softer, you can make it firm. I don't know. The 3 Series is still a pretty hard to beat. In my opinion.
I just
Well,
think
there you
you'll
go.
drive them both, and
We're-
you'll find that the A5 will be better on
So there
California
you go.
highways.
We haven't answered your question. We basically disagree.
Well, we disagree, but we each have our own opinion, so you can decide from there.
Yeah, so here's the thing is, I'm right
Hardly.
or Andrea's right. You decide.
Andrea's right. Hey guys, with a wave, what are your thoughts on the electromagnetic corrosion protection, rust protection compared to other types of undercoating? From Nova Scotia, and I feel like rust is so bad here. It's an interesting one.
It is nothing but a pile of crap. They're selling you voodoo snake oil. Do not buy that. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Just do not spend your money on it. Spend your money going to either Crown in Canada, Crown Rust Protection, or Rust Check. That's your first line of defense, is getting the vehicle sprayed. That is absolute waste of money.
So what that is, for those who don't know, is that you can get this little device
A
that
module,
can be easily installed by your mechanic, and it basically gives off some very light
Electrical
currents,
charge, yes.
and it interferes with the metal and oxygen so that your vehicle will not rust.
Snake oil.
I mean, it sounds like an interesting concept,
So,
but this other stuff has been used for many, many
You
years.
just ask people who use Rust Check or Rust Check or Crown, and they basically, it's a lubricant. It's like it has rust protecting properties because it's a lubricant. It's hyper lubricant, and it gets into all the crevices, and it basically expels the water. So you need the ingredients of the water, the salt, to get together in those crevices to create rust. So it basically replaces the water, and that's what listen, I grew up in the East. I grew up in the snow and the salt, and that's what you need.
You guys have any comments on the Jeep Wrangler 4xe? I've seen some good deals here in the U.S. Worry about practicality versus the regular gas. I pulled some numbers on the Wrangler gas and 4xe in the U.S. So you can get a Wrangler gas model starting at just over $36,000, or you can buy a 4xe for over $50,000.
Listen.
You are just not going to make up the cost of fuel with that price. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep and Ram, is in a whole lot of hurt right now.
Yeah.
This company is absolutely on the bubble. It's going to have to find a dance partner. It's tried looking for dance partners in the past. They're hemorrhaging money, and they're hemorrhaging sales.
Yeah.
And they have 2 brands. I know they have Chrysler, they have Dodge. They really have 2 brands. It's the Jeep and Ram company. And the sales of Jeep and Ram are not strong. So if you think there's a good deal on a 4xe now, just wait 6 months. And if you like the product, hey, listen, the Jeep is a unique product. You really can't replace, well, you can't, I guess you can get a Bronco, but not a plug-in. And it is selling incredibly well. It's the best-selling plug-in in North America is the 4xe. But if you think there's good deals, just wait. This company is not in good shape.
The problem with the 4xe Wrangler in particular is it offers 35 kilometers, 22 miles of range. That is it. I don't know. I find like even when you use up all that range, even though you're running it as a hybrid, the fuel economy is just okay. With that particular model, I find if you can drive that vehicle in pure EV mode most of the time, you're going to get better fuel economy. I'm just not sure it's worth the difference in price unless you can get a super, super good deal on it that it's more comparable to the gas model.
Do they still make the diesel in the Wrangler, I wonder?
I think they do still make the
because
diesel.
I'm a diesel guy. I love me a diesel.
Diesel's
But
good.
that hasn't been particularly friendly in the repair department. But anyway, there you go.
Yes. How do you feel about reliability with Kia and Hyundai today, specifically with the newer hybrid Sportage and Tucson?
they've proven to be really quite good. I mean, Kia, Hyundai, and the Hyundai Group has had a lot of issues with recalls, engine replacements, fires, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of it looks to be kind of in the rearview mirror, slowly getting into the distance. The new stuff is doing better, and I know Andrea looked it all up, didn't you?
I did look it all up. So first off, with the JD Power 2024 dependability study, Hyundai and Kia are top 4. I mean, that's a great place to be.
So just to qualify that, that's cars that are 3 years old. So 2024, these would be 2021 cars, right?
That's right. So the JD Power dependability study hasn't rated the 2024 Tucson. There is a 2025 coming, but they haven't even rated the 2024. But the Kia Sportage was rated, and it got an 83 out of 100, the 2024 model, which is excellent. Consumer Reports gives the 2025 Tucson Hybrid an overall score of 85 out of 100, and the 2024 Sportage Hybrid 77 out of 100. These are good numbers, and I want to add that my mom, we recommended the Tucson plug-in hybrid for her. It's got to be a couple years old now, and she loves it, has had absolutely no issues with it.
How does Consumer Reports rate the 2025 Tucson? Like, I don't understand that about Consumer Reports.
Predicted reliability.
Yeah, predicted reliability. Yeah. But come on, you got to actually get it in and drive it. That's one of the things about Consumer Reports drives me crazy, is they come up with this stuff. I mean, there's a perfect example. The one I always remember was in 2012, the Honda Civic, which the Honda Civic is a Honda Civic. It's going to do the job, right? In 2012, they introduced the new Honda Civic. The year before, it was on the recommended list. And then the next year, they brought out the 2012. And from 2 paces away, you couldn't tell the difference if it was a brand new car. And they took it off the recommended list because it wasn't changed enough.
Yeah.
So if it was good enough to drive and they didn't change it, why wouldn't it be good enough for 2012? Like, this is the kind of stuff Consumer Reports does that I just don't like. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
We saw that with the Crosstrek as well. It was like rated #1 in the subcompact class. And it is a good model for sure, but it was like all this predicted reliability stuff. And I don't know. I don't really get how they figure things out, and I also find that the reliability scores for all vehicles are quite low as well.
Just one more well, not anecdotal, it's actually factual. Consumer Reports gave the Subaru, because you brought up Subaru, I remembered this one. Here's another one. Consumer Reports gave the Ascent their top pick for a 3-row midsize SUV. In the first year it was out. That was their top pick. This is Consumer Reports. But then the vehicle came out and people started driving it. And then it started having problems. And it had a lot of problems in its first year or so. And so they took it off their list. It's like, it's stuff like that. And then people say, oh, JD Power, well, that's all fake because they just buy your way to the top.
Which is not the case.
I will take JD Power any day over Consumer Reports. Consumer Reports will even tell you they inject their own opinion into their... JD Power is just all stats, and I like stats.
So just so you know, we signed up for Consumer Reports, and I've been using Consumer Reports in our data quite a bit.
It was a fortune, Andrea. It was like $35 a year.
So JD Power is free. You can Google things online, but Consumer Reports not. Some of you tell me you can go to the library. I don't typically go to the library, so I just paid for it. Interestingly enough, because I signed up, I am now asking to fill out a survey. Every time I go online, it says, can you please fill out this survey? And I keep saying, no, thanks. So they want to know probably what car I have or what products I use, and to fill out the survey, and then they'll use my data within their reports, which is fine.
So why don't you tell them about how much you love your GTI?
Yeah, I guess I could. I mean, I haven't even looked at the survey. I haven't had a moment, but maybe I will.
You know what? But it won't be about the car, though. They'll say, how do you like your washing machine?
Maybe, which we did buy a new washer dryer, so maybe that's it. So one of our viewers, Scott, him and his wife bought a Mini, and here's something interesting. He got something in the mail from JD Power saying, we'd like to know, what do you think about your Mini? So it's happening. It's happening. Love your video channel. Thank you. I'm thinking of buying an Airstream and trying to decide on a vehicle that can tow it.
Is that my brother?
I know, it's not your brother. And also fit in my condo's garage. Yeah, that's tough. Right now I'm leaning towards the Infiniti QX60 since it tows 6,000 pounds, but I don't need 3 rows and really want something more sporty. Do you think the upcoming QX65 will have a tow package? Do you recommend any other vehicles that fit my needs? Don't know about the QX65 and a tow package, unfortunately, but
you could get a Dodge Durango, but you're back at the same thing. You're at a 3-row SUV. The answer to your question, unfortunately, is going to be a pickup truck or a German SUV, like something like an X5 or a GLE, something in that size that's a 2-row 5-passenger. They tow 7,700 pounds.
Yeah.
So you can do it with those. Or you get a pickup truck that can tow more.
You're saying 6,000 pounds and you don't want the 3rd row. This is an expensive option, but I'm going to throw it out there.
I want to hear it. What is it?
It's the Toyota Land Cruiser. It can tow 6,000 pounds.
Yeah, but Andrea, it has to be more than 6,000 pounds because that's the weight that you can tow. Then you've got all of your junk, and then you've got water and all that.
Yes, but he's given a specific Airstream on here. He obviously knows what that has to tow, and it can be within, because he said the QX60 can tow 6,000 pounds. So maybe that Airstream is only 4,000 pounds.
It might be a Bambi or something like that.
It says it's a Caravelle 22 FB.
So
I don't know.
So a 22 foot. Yeah, you're going to be pushing right up against that, even at 6,000 pounds. You can get a German SUV or you can drive a pickup truck. That's really what you're looking at.
And if you can get away with 6,000 pounds, the Land Cruiser is a 5-passenger vehicle.
Back to Durango. Durango, even though it's a 3-row SUV, can tow more because it's based on a German platform. We went through all of this one other time before, but the Durango is top of the mountain for towing.
And also, just put the 3rd row down. I mean, you could do that and just have more cargo space.
Yeah, they want to park it in their underground.
That's the problem.
Get an X5.
Hello, my brother is contemplating either purchasing an Outback or a new Forester. He's not too car savvy, so he needs something very reliable and wants something with great visibility and good fuel economy would be a plus. I'm thinking the new Forester has been updated, so it has the new infotainment, but same reliable engine as the outgoing model. He's leaning towards the Outback because of the looks and thinks visibility is better. Any thoughts?
Well, you can also get the turbo in the Outback. That's the biggest difference, is the fact that you're right, the engine's carried forward with Forester. The driveline is the same, but with Forester you can get that turbo and it makes it a world of difference.
It does make a world of difference. And you know what? The Outback visibility is great. It gets awesome ground clearance, just like the Forester. I don't really love the look of the Outback myself. I prefer the new Forester look, which visibility is good too.
Fantastic.
But yeah, if you're looking for something that drives more like a sedan, the Outback would be the way to go. Both awesome options. I think that if you test drive both, then you'll know exactly which one you prefer.
Exactly.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. If you want to get a question in, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out with Zach and I holding coffees. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Good timing. I just finished. Bye now.
See you next time.